Well, it's a Wednesday night and we've got snow squalls coming through Indiana and it's cold. So I'm going to make a chicken stew. It just sounded good. Mom made a chicken vegetable soup last night. I'm just going to take it up a little bit and change a few things. I've got 3 potatoes right here. We've got some celery, mushrooms, green beans. It called for peas, but I'm going to do green beans instead. An onion, some carrots, garlic, avocado oil, chicken stock, chicken, tomato paste. I'm going to do herbs de Provence just because I've got them and it calls for some of those of the herbs that are in there, and I've got an entire bottle and I need to use probably throw some garlic, buttery garlic and herb just for some more flavor, and heavy cream just at the end just to thicken it. And that's what we're going to do for dinner. To make this go a little faster, I'm throwing this in the air fryer, and I've just seasoned it with the buttery garlic and herb by Kinder's, and I'm going to cook them for 400 for probably about 15 minutes, and I'll turn them halfway in between, but then the chicken will just be done and I won't be waiting. If I didn't do it this way, I could have picked up a rotisserie chicken or used leftover chicken in this, and it would have worked out perfectly. I've diced up the onion, the carrots, and the celery, and I'm just getting them fried up a little bit, get them a little bit softened. I've got the chicken in the air fryer, and I'm going to work on the potatoes, then the green beans. The last thing will go in is the mushrooms at the end. So I've got this pretty softened, all the veggies, and I've cut up the potatoes. So we're going to add in, some tomato paste. Not very much. It called for like 2 teaspoons. So there we go. Let's cook it just a little bit. The other thing I want to do is grab my garlic so we can warm that as well. Just let them bubble together. Let them cook just down a teensy bit. My chicken is done. So I'm letting it cool, and then I'm going to probably dice it up after I have all the veggies diced. So we're going to go ahead and add in all 4 cups of the chicken stock. And give that a stir. Bring that up. Go ahead and get that up to temp, and then we will add in the potatoes. Okay, I've got this almost to a boil. We're going to add in the green beans, which I'll probably add some more green beans, and the potatoes. Give this a stir. Yeah, we'll add some more green beans, but it's coming together. I'm getting this to come up and cook down the green beans and the potatoes. They are fresh green beans, so they do take longer. I'm adding in the garlic and herb, and then we're adding in the herbs de Provence. And I think I'm going to add in 2 of whatever came with this. We're going to call it good at that. This is just bubbling away. We're going to add in, I think, about a half pack of the mushrooms. It didn't call for mushrooms, it called for peas. I did the green beans instead, and I decided mushrooms sounded good in it. I guess I always think stew needs mushrooms, so. All right. And I may skip the heavy whipping cream. I don't know yet. We'll play around. This is kind of how recipes work for me. Usually I follow them the first time and then I play with them. Well, I've been playing with them recently. Kind of what just sounds good when I go to taste it. But we will let this all bubble together, and the chicken is done, and I went ahead and diced it all up, and it'll go in. I used thighs, so it's not going to overcook. If you use chicken breast, I would say leave it out until the last minute, because you just don't want it to sit here and overcook. And then keep in mind, I made enough here. It looks like we'll be having leftovers, or I'll have soup for lunch. So when I go to heat it back up again, it's like I said, it turns into a vicious cycle with chicken breast. So, all right. All right, this has been cooking for a little while, and I've had the lid on. I'm gonna add the chicken that I diced up and any juice that comes off of them. Now you could add some more broth, and I might add a little bit more broth. I thought the veggies would have given off just a little bit more, but they haven't. So let this come up about another 5 minutes and it should be ready to go. And we're finished, and it looks and smells delicious. I'm a little biased. I like a vegetable soup, so here's another different option to try. Thanks for joining me tonight. Tonight, I'm going to throw together a real simple one-pan chicken sausage with veggies, and we're going to throw some gnocchi in with it. So I've got the potato gnocchi. I've got some mushrooms. This is basically, I'm cleaning out the refrigerator on veggies, but I had some mushrooms left over. I'm going to use the spinach feta sausage. Chicken sausage is just what I prefer. I've got an onion, vegetable stock or chicken stock, whichever you've got, olive oil, some pesto. I've got a little bit of a yellow pepper, and I've got a red, some garlic, heavy whipping cream, my zucchini, Italian seasoning, and some Parmesan, and probably some salt and pepper. But I'm going to go ahead and get the peppers, the onion, the zucchini, and the sausage all cut up. We're going to go ahead, and I've got my pan heating. I'm going to add in some olive oil. And I have sliced up the sausage. And we're just going to go ahead and get this in here and get this browned up. And while this is browning, we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the veggies cut up. I've got a little bit of a brown on this. We're going to go ahead, and I've cut up the peppers, the onions, so we're going to go ahead and add those. I've got the zucchini cut up, but I'm going to wait because I don't want that to turn to mush. So we're going to get this cooking. I'm almost thinking I might need a bigger pan, but I think we'll be fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw the mushrooms in just so they can have the time to saute down. And I'm standing here feeding a Rottweiler peppers. That's why I had a pepper and a half. Because if I hadn't have, he would not have given me as many peppers as I have in here. All right, we'll get this all cooked down. Okay, I've given the veggies a head start. I'm going to add in some garlic. And I'm going to add in the zucchini now. And we'll get this mixed up and let this cook a couple more minutes, and then we'll get all the rest of it in here to get our sauce that's going to go with this. Okay, now that we've got everything else in, we're going to add in 1 cup of broth. We're going to add in a half cup of pesto. Use whatever kind of pesto you like. I usually keep a jar on the shelf. This is the Barilla. This one works really well. The other one we like is the Aldi brand. And I probably put a little bit more pesto in here. It's just kind of what we like. And then a half cup of heavy cream. And we're going to give this another mix. We're going to add in at this point the Italian seasoning. Could have also added this in when we cook the veggies. Some salt, which I didn't do a ton. I am using broth, and some pepper. And the final thing is the gnocchi. Get this in there. Give it a good stir. Break any of the big clumps up. This is one of these items that I just like to have on the shelf because it's versatile. Or you could have just left this at that point and put this over pasta. You could have cooked some pasta in this. You just would have had to add more broth. All right. This is going to come up to temp, and we're going to put the lid on, and this is going to cook for about 15 minutes, and everything will be ready to go. So we're all done, and it's already thickened up. Really, you don't even have to go the full 15 minutes. You just want to get the gnocchi cooked, and in cooking it, it will reduce that sauce. So I'm just going to put on the Parmesan, give it another mix, and we're going to eat dinner. I'm just going to serve this with some sourdough because we like it, and I have it. Real simple, easy, quick dinner. And we're ready to eat. I'm going to go ahead and load a Ziploc bag for my husband to drop into the Crockpot tomorrow. I don't have room in the refrigerator to go ahead and load the Crockpot. So we're just going to do a Ziploc bag tonight. The broccoli and the carrots I'm going to cut up tonight, but they're going to go in after the fact. So I'm going to start with stew meat. I've got 1.5 pounds. We've got beef broth, garlic, soy sauce, sesame oil, and brown sugar. This is what's going in the bag. This is what's going in the crock pot. And then he's going to turn it on low for about 5 hours. When I get home, I will take the other bag that I will have already put the broccoli and some of the carrots in and drop those in with a cornstarch slurry. And then by the time the rice is done, we'll be ready to eat. So into the bag, we're going to put 1 cup broth. And I'm going to measure this, which I don't always. You know, most of the time I like to eyeball. Okay, now we're going to do a half cup of soy. Like I said, I am measuring just so we can get the best measurements for this. I probably won't measure the brown sugar, but it's just a third of a cup. So there is the half cup. We'll add the garlic. It called for 3 cloves. I like garlic, so a couple spoonfuls. Plus, it's just not as strong as it would be if I was using fresh garlic. Now, this is sesame oil, and it is 1 teaspoon. And I am careful with this because this adds great flavor. But if you get too much of it in it, whoa. And final, brown sugar. And that is just a third of a cup. That should be close. All right, and like I said, this is what is going to go in the crock pot. And I will call my husband and have him start it. And he'll just do low and slow until I get home. And when I get home, I will show you the rest. I have the crock pot work. Just got home from work. And the crock pot, the meat is all cooked. We're going to add the slurry. So I'm just going to take a couple of tablespoons. Get a fork. Add the water. Give it a whisk. I'm going to pour that in. And then I am going to take my bag of veggies. And we're going to pour that into the crock pot. And I've turned it up to high. And now we're just going to stir it. I want to get most of those carrots down in there. As I said, I cut them pretty small, so the carrots should cook pretty well. And I'm going to start a thing of rice, and then we'll have dinner.